Investment is a vital part of economic development for countries around the world. The act of building an economy and achieving growth all alone may never be achieved. Hence the need to allow for the involvement of other citizens from other countries, Nigeria included. Recent developments show that investors' interest in the country is increasing despite the numerous socio-economic challenges. The Wall Street Sentiment Index stated that Nigeria is the most watched economy amongst frontier markets. It came ahead of countries like Venezuela. This position puts the country in a state of opportunity as it creates a platform to improve on the level of economic growth. Many believe the ranking of Nigeria in the Western world has prompted plans by some foreign investors to come into the country. In fact, reports say the Nigerian economy is to enjoy more foreign investment with the arrival of 14 European companies in the second quarter of the year. The companies drawn from across Western Europe have concluded plans to invest in real estate, construction, refinery projects, mining, agriculture, amongst others, and seek for local partners in Africa. Nigeria is grouped amongst the Mint group of nations. These are Mexico, Indonesia, Nigeria, and Turkey. This grouping was done to reflect the opportunities inherent in emerging economies. Earlier, there was the BRIC nations, which identifies Brazil, Russia, India, and China as the next global economic powerhouses. For years, Nigeria has been touted as the best country to profit from amongst rapidly developing African economies. Experts attribute this to some reasons. The government plans to expand on infrastructure. This is expected to create more jobs and boost consumer spending. The investment community is so excited on the basis that Nigeria's business market is dominated by a small number of sellers, which makes the economy very attractive. A number of risks have been identified in investing in frontier markets. One of them is that the political environment is key. Some countries are going through some kind of political instability. For Nigeria, the elections were shifted by 6 weeks, and investors are termed to be cautious in taking meaningful steps before the elections. Many believe that government policies are key to investment decisions in the economy. This stance is the same in most economies waiting to be invested in. Another challenge is that investors may not record profit in the first 5 years of operations. While the economy is being assessed abroad, there is the need to ensure that government does all it can to fast-track developmental plans in the areas of infrastructure development, the revival of the manufacturing sector, and improvement in exports.
Saratu Umar is the Executive Secretary of the Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission. In this interview, she states that there are plans by the government to drive investment into the country.
Currently, it's about a bit over $5 billion that has come in last year. And of course, we know that we can improve on that. And I know over the last 6 years, about 45 billion has come in, and averagely that's 5 billion per annum. But interestingly, we also have a lot of pipelines that are on the verge of being transformed into actual investment, because there's more, of course, as you know, more interest in the Nigerian economy, more awareness and all of that. So that's what it is as of today. Pipelines of almost 60 billion, conservatively wanting to actually actualize into actual investment.
Are there specific areas investors are looking towards in Nigeria where they are of interest?
Of course, they're looking, because there have been a lot of plans that have been developed by government over the last 3 to 4 years. So a lot of investors are interested in agriculture, services, automobile companies, and a host of them that are trying to come here and start doing business because they've seen the opportunity is huge. So of course there are areas of interest. But beyond that, we want to also create awareness, because the issue is to ensure there's a diversified production base in the country, diversified economy, to do more. So we want to bring encourage more investment into solid mineral, of course, into agri, into infrastructure, do much more, and also, of course, into services and a host of them. So it's to ensure that there's a holistic development of the economy.
Now, what is your assessment of the investment climate in Nigeria for those investors who would come to assess the climate, the environment? What did they see?
Well, of course, for those who have been here, we've had some complaints, of course. Some of them feel the issues that we can still improve on. We did stakeholder forum at the commission some months back. We started this sometime in November. And what has happened is that some of them have given us feedback on what they expect to see. And part of it is to ensure that a strong institution is in place, an investment promotion agency is in place to give them that hand-holding support, not only as incoming investors, but also as existing investors. And also other aspects that they've seen, of course, we've looked at the doing business index, yes, that Nigeria has had from the World Bank is not very encouraging, but the whole essence is to work at it, to make sure we improve the issues of power and all the other things that they have concerns over, to make sure the institutions that should actually provide certain services to the investing community are actually doing some of those things they ought to do in a very efficient manner, in an effective manner. But for us as an institution, we're engaging different stakeholders. In fact, we've gone ahead to bring out those different variables that have actually formed the basis for that rating we got as a country. And we're looking at the ones we can control at our end as an organization, and the ones we ought to partner with relevant agencies or arms of government to ensure that we try to improve on what is on ground now.
Are there challenges being encountered at the moment for you as the Executive Secretary at the NIPC and for investors who would actually come into the country and perhaps operate in?
Of course, some of them do have challenges. They speak to you about certain things they have concerns over. Some of them talk about the policies. Some they're not sure what to do. They're not sure what if tomorrow. What if Certainly, they always have challenges. Some of them, of course, talk about issues of power is a concern to them because they believe to be very competitive. Then they wouldn't want to run on, on diesel and all of that. But I'm sure, as you know, efforts are on hand, to make sure power is being aggressively developed to take care of that. And of course, we also know that the efforts sometimes are not going to be seen right here and now. Some are medium term, some are long term. So I'm almost certain that in the next few months, few years, we will see more impact where power is concerned. Of course, the companies were also encouraging to come and start setting up these renewable energy, companies, industries, and all of that should also assist. Also to encourage cluster the industrial zones where common infrastructure is going to be made available to them. All those plans are on track. So it's to encourage them and say, okay, you can do this in the meantime and all of that. But I believe these challenges as a country, once we're working together, we'll surmount them.